Okay, let's test to make sure everything's working.
Hello, hi.
Hi, can everybody hear Surena and myself? Great,
Working.
great, it's working. And do we have
Yeah.
any? Are
Amazing.
there any? Is there any echo or any doubling? All
All
good,
good.
great. Hey, I did it. I did it. Took me a little while, but I did it. Welcome everyone to the Dungeon Cooldown. I am Ron Ogden, as you well know, one of the co-DMs here on the Dungeon Run, and joining me today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Serena Marie. I play Octavius Box Cutter, your resident Owlin Rogue.
Yeah, great. Obviously, most of you know that, but we have to get the formalities out of the way. Serena, I'm so excited. This is one of the many times I think this month that you and I are going to be speaking together about what's going on here at the Dungeon Run, and that I say this to you privately, as you well know, but it's good for the audience to know too. I am so happy that you're with us.
Oh,
I love Otto. I love what you're bringing to the table. And to be clear for everybody, so no one feels left out, I love all of our players, and they all are bringing wonderful things to the table. But this is the time for me, since you're here, to dote on you a little bit and tell you how much I enjoy your role play and the choices that you make. So that's I just want that to be publicly known. I'm pretty sure it probably already was, but as I can't hide the faces that I make when we're DMing, as you well know. So thank you so much for joining us.
my gosh, thank you for having me. It
Yeah.
has been such a fun and harrowing experience. You and Jared together are such a fun duo. I've never experienced a game with co-DMs before,
Oh yeah.
and it's so interesting having some NPCs. I'm like, I think I told you this in privately. Like every NPC you play, I'm like, yes, I trust you with my life. Good. This one's a good one.
Yeah.
And I know that that's gonna, as we can tell in the secret room, bite me in the butt a little
Yeah.
bit.
Maybe. Yeah. In the secret room for sure. That's kind of why my face. I was smiling this way, like yeah. Uh, we'll see. Let's
Until
see what
yeah.
happens after next episode. And tell me if you still feel that way. But look, I'll say one thing about the CodeM situation is, I haven't done it before. I've done storytelling in that format, but never in the D&D DM at a table format. It's always been like improvised storytelling on stage for comedic purposes that I've done this kind of stuff. But I'll say Jared is fantastic to work with. It's easy to work with. He listens when I say, well, maybe not that right now, maybe not like that. But then he also, he's very has always something else to add or to one up, and the ideas that he comes in with, and then that we just drill down on. It's been a pleasure working with him every step of the way. Even in those moments where we're not bonking heads so much as it's just okay. These are things that we both care about. How do we find the middle
Mhm.
point? Like any relationship, right? Like you're trying to find the compromise. And so we're finding the compromise as a situation with Jared is very pleasant, and so it makes the job really easy. So thank you very much for that compliment. We work really hard at this. We're actually meeting tonight. We talk text all the time, and then we have official meetings and make choices. But um, it's been incredible to experience. So that I will be talking a little bit more about this throughout the month on different podcasts that I'll be going on, which is fun.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, that's
exciting.
fun. Yeah. So yeah, and I'll announce those as on my own spaces when those happen. But I want to know before we get into any questions and stuff. I
Uh-huh.
want to know, how is Otto right now?
Oh
How's
boy.
Otto doing? How's our little
Little
bird boy doing?
yeah, our little bird boy buddy. He is struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
I think uh and it was a joke like that I made right after the secret room. So for everybody listening in, as soon as the secret room dropped and we transitioned out of it and to get everybody else at the table, I looked at Ron and Jared and I was like, "Oh, I've been playing in a different genre this entire time. Like it was so good and truly horrifying. And I think that Otto, I'm trying to, pepper in a lot of his like haunted ones, um, like I thoughts and ideas, like kind of subtext and like very like gently into earlier parts of the story. And so to be confronted with his actual nightmare, and not only his actual nightmare, but like two people who are controlling his actual nightmare. And I wrote in my notes that I was so diligently taking as Secret Room Hat was happening. I wrote, "Are they eating of the world?" And like that idea is very cool and terrifying, like cosmic horror terrifying. So, not
Yeah.
great, I guess, is the answer to the question.
No, yeah, not great. And yeah, that's I think you put it the perfect way. I love that. You're like, "Oh, I've been playing in the wrong genre."
Yeah.
Which is it's just for me that's why I do this stuff. It's that those reveals and those drops and all that kind of stuff, that's my popcorn for this kind of style of play. So that's always what I've gotten in stories about the gods, right? The stories about the gods are like, guys, what you think is wrong is not what's wrong. Looks like that, and this is wrong, and we should fix it. We should do something about it. But this ain't the problem. This is related to the problem. So I love that. We got. First of all, I do want to say thank you, Uncle CW. We saw your gift subs. We talked about it, but I
Yes.
realized that we were not on when we did that. So I want to do that. Thank you so much for the gift subs. We really very much appreciate that. We got some comments in here. I want to look at them. Give you an instant notes page. Oh yeah, take those notes. Absolutely. I think Adam was talking about it when we were shooting all the dance scenes. It might have been with you, where he talks about he played in a game where someone essentially volunteered to be the journalist, or
Oh.
the history writer. So those I find are very helpful, and usually my reward to that person who is volunteering is like, oh, well, some of the story is going to revolve around your backstory because you're taking these notes, and incentivizes you to take the notes even more. So it's always a volunteer thing, and if no one does it, then I pick it up myself and make those notes. But I find that you get a lot more agency in characters because they take notes and they're reflective of their own viewpoints, and that's the history that I want rather than what I know. So that was kind of what was talked about there in a little bit when we were doing some behind the scenes talk there. The reason I brought that up was because somebody said, yeah, take notes, because we know everyone's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and it's an interesting dichotomy, because I think somebody said in chat that I think it was Uncle CW said that they like the relationship between Cristobal and Otto, and how Cristobal is teaching Otto.
Yeah.
And I do too. Like, I am so obsessed with it. I am excited to see how Otto begins to learn and view the world with Cristobal's help.
Absolutely.
In that regard, like, me as a player, like listening into the secret room, taking all of those notes, like, I'm coming to different conclusions than I know Otto would. And so it's figuring out, okay, like through the lens of this very sheltered, like Owlin boy, how can I share like what I believe is going on, and like play at the top of my intelligence.
Yeah.
And also not give away the whole bakery.
Yeah.
I mean, I could. Everything you
Yes.
shared is what I can share,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
story-wise, I think it's interesting to like concepts that maybe
Yeah.
Otto doesn't understand, uh, but they might come out later, you know?
Yeah, I really appreciate your ability to not exposition dump and find in character reasons to reveal the things that you reveal. That there was a saying that I'm a big LARPer, and there's a saying that I really enjoyed was like keep it in play, like your emotions and those things that are upsetting you while you're a character, as long as they're character driven, keep them in that character driven and speak from that character's voice. And you do that really well. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that pairing too. The Otto Cristobal pairing is really interesting to me, especially considering that Cristobal. I love that Cristobal's. Can we talk about Cristobal for a second?
Yes,
Sorry, I
yes,
want to make sure
please.
we talk about.
Yeah,
Um,
he's amazing.
so I need to make sure that. Apologies, I got to pop up here that I saw. We may this call may end soon. I don't know why, but I need to fix that. So apologies. Um, Cristobal, and his ability. He's never been in danger, right? He's never been in danger. Then all of these supernatural things start happening to him, and the wisdom that comes out of his mouth to Saint in the latest episode about
Yeah.
like what's happening was really beautiful for me to witness. I'm curious how you feel about that.
Yeah, very similar. That moment with Saint and Jess is such a phenomenal actress. She was really going through it and compelling when talking about going home because she was so scared. And I think that Adam, as Cristobal, did a great job at being like, yes, a reason why we should stay. Like Otto, like wants to do, wants to stay, but also will. Jess convinced Otto in that moment, and her RP. I was like, great, we're going, I guess. And I know that would have been a different branching off, maybe not intentional. But as soon as Adam started talking and Cristobal was explaining everything, I was like, that was Otto's viewpoint as well. And just saying it out loud and much more eloquently, is just really lovely.
Yeah. Well, and there's a moment in there when they start talking about like it sounds like Saint's going to convince them to go home, and a little bit of me went, ah, ah. But then I remembered like the way that Jared and I have built this campaign is y'all can go wherever you want. If you don't want to go the path that you're that's kind of been the fate is driving in front of you, you don't have to. We have ways of handling all that stuff because everything is really based around your backstory. We're taking really much from the lazy DM as we had the lazy dungeon master here, Sly Flourish, a couple of weeks ago on this show, and heavily like because we base them on your backstory. If you're motivated to go a place because of your backstory, that's all upside for us, right? That's all upside because we know that's coming, and so we can plan for it and make changes. It does require some changes, but it's not catastrophic to what's going on. So that's what I love is when those moments come up and people are like, well, what if we go here? I'm like, ooh, please. Yeah, let's go over it that way. Why? I don't know. Y'all want to go, let's go there. So that's what I really enjoyed about that particular aspect of the conversation. Somebody said Crystal Ball's surprising, really stepping up. Yeah, absolutely. I loved his little magic missile scarves. That was fun. And the Music Man says it's understandable with Saint's reaction. You take away a cleric from their deity, their source of magic and strength, and it's natural for them to have a moment of crisis. Yeah, absolutely. And I think Jessica nailed that feeling, right? Like you get all this power, and Saint has even said that they have gotten this type of power where this was given to me like by my God, who was very connected, and now he's gone, and I don't know what's going on. Very scary for anyone, I think. That loss of power and source of strength for you in moments is waning, and so therefore you go back to the fears that are so strong. Jessica,
that. Speaking of Jessica, because now I'm going to pivot to talk about how amazing Jess is.
Please.
I've never played with a cleric, like player before who
Yeah.
is so everything is through that lens. Everything is through her viewpoint of her god, and her
Yeah.
god is truly like a driving force for her.
Mm-hmm.
I've only played with people, and I've been also this cleric as well, where it's um like I kind of play clerics like I would play a warlock. Like there's not really a ton of a differentiation
Right.
between
Yeah, they're very similar. And in fact, there's
yeah.
sometimes where I wonder if maybe Saint should have been more of a warlock of a radiant god or an air god then. But I like this way because we talked with her about it, but I liked her this way.
Yeah, I like it this way too because there is this like divine divinity aspect to it. She's very like pious to her
Yeah.
god. It feels like, and it's just it's so cool and engaging to watch because like her point of view instantly. Like
Yeah.
you meet all of the characters in the tavern for the first time in that like scenario. She says like five things, and you're like, oh, I get
Okay,
it. Like,
get it.
yeah, like this is you,
On board.
and yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And I got to say again, more doting on Jessica. Saint has been such a different character from Fahima, and I love that contrast of
Mm.
even just now. I can't wait till it gets deeper, but that contrast already between Fahima and Saint is so good for me that I really appreciate it. It's so good. Let's see, and then it says, yeah, imagine if Val takes a level in Paladin at some point. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty
fighter Paladin.
cool.
Yeah, I like Paladins. I'm convinced.
Hmm.
I'm definitely convinced. Let's see. Oh, wait. Company of Unicorn says, "Do not breed with spiders." I don't know where that comes from. Randomness today, I guess. Akin to an athlete who is injured and stressing over how they will continue. Yeah. Music Man says it's akin to an athlete who's injured and stressing over how they will continue. And absolutely stressing over that. Well, what's next?
Hmm.
I'm uncertainty, right? Uncertainty in front of them. All right, we've got a couple of Patreon questions. Let me check my Zoom meeting here, make sure everything's good. 1 second.
My camera has vanished from chat.
Oh no, it has. What has happened?
Boop. I blinked out.
Yeah, you did. Sorry guys, 1 second. Having some problems here. Let me see. Why did you? What is happening? We were doing so well.
Oh,
Ah,
I'm back.
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Let me do this. I think it was because I was trying to do something on a different page. Everything good? Everything good? Sorry, guys. I apologize. 1 second. Okay. All right. Should be good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All good. Fixed it.
Woo.
Yay. Getting faster. Okay, it's from Tapartos for Surena. How hard was it for you to decide how much to open up to the group about Otto's past? And after the secret room, did you decide to hold back on telling the group of the names 2 people you just saw, or just too much info to go through? The names of the 2 people.
Yeah.
First part, let's talk about how hard was it for you to decide to open up about the past?
Very hard. I think that Otto was not planning. I was kind of gonna see how long I could just like lie about stuff.
Yeah, there's so much. I keep looking at Jared at the end of the games. I'm like, did you catch that lie? Did you catch it? Because I did. I don't know if you caught it, but I caught that lie. He of course did catch the lie too. So I
Uh-huh.
love that you have those little things. It's because it's not. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're like little white lies. They're just like a little trail of white lies.
Mhm.
And because this thing that happened to them is really, really traumatic. And also, I think Otto he wants to be a hero. That's why he was very impressed with Val, because at every instance Val came and like saved him when he wasn't able to save himself, or when he was like almost keeled over from exhaustion. And so Otto wants to be this big brave hero, but he knows in his heart, at least right now, that he's a coward, because he ran from this thing that basically incinerated. And I haven't I don't know how much I sort of said it, but they incinerated two new friends, but also Otto is not has said a little bit how much, like, why Obsidian is important, but I don't think that they're gonna feel comfortable sharing their like true family secret with the rest of the group. So wading through all of those layers is really difficult, because he also doesn't want him to say something that could get his family and his community in danger. Not because anybody in the party would betray him, but the more people who have this knowledge, the more people can be pressed to reveal it. And then jumping to not revealing the names, I think like me, Surena, I'd been waiting for, because like Grimora was said at first, like, and then I was just like waiting for the other name to drop. So they're very highlighted in my notes. But I think that.
Did you get the second name?
Yes, Negrok.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I think that would be something that I would reveal like later. And it is because he was overwhelmed, but also there is power in names. And if they're watching us, and if they have minions everywhere, I don't want to say a name that might invoke something. So, and yeah, and especially the idea of gods. Like, I don't want to invoke a god by its name, because that puts the
brings
spotlight on us.
Whole lot of feature sets, you know, like
yeah,
whole lot of stuff comes with that. Absolutely smart. Very, very smart play. So to Bartos, that's part. Clearly, great answers to your question there. To Bartos also has a question for me. The secret room was really brilliant, so thanks for that. Thank you. You both seemed to really enjoy that. Was mainly wondering if you had planned on doing a Watcher secret room, even if there was no subathon going on. Well, I think what you're seeing is the benefits of a co-DM situation. We can now do scenes, right, as a DM. A DM doing a scene with themselves, it's just a different beast. Nothing wrong with it. Plenty of them that are wonderful. It's just a different beast. So as a co-DM situation, Jared and I have been really excited because we get to play these kind of scenes together where the rest of the cast isn't around. So we still get to role play ourselves a bit. So, for us, this was the real first way to show that to you, that we've had the opportunity to. We wanted to. There were some plans that we had to do that with some other places that had gone on, but because of his work and my situation and getting married to Heather, love you, Heather. That hey, here it is. That part prevented us from being able to do it earlier. So this was our first real opportunity to do that. And so for me, it was a lot of fun because this goes right into Tuamask's question of, was the dinner scene between the bad bosses improvised or scripted before the stream? So we knew the bosses were there, right? Like we knew what they were. So all that we scripted were, here's the bosses. Here are the beats that they're talking about. We don't know what their relationship is. Fully. We have a good idea. It's not fully how it works out. We know things like boss and employee, but there was nothing about like, well, how specifically does that relationship work? Are they, this or that? So we just had the beats and then found the relationship in the moment together. And I think that's a little bit of maybe what you're sensing when you were like, wow, that was really cool, was that we found if Jared and I build a moment of discovery together, then
Mhm.
that's a honest discovery moment with the audience as well. And that's, I think, what we really want to grab, right? So there's some of it that we've got to keep, like, we're going to find in the moment and improvise, because that's one of the powers of improv that I really enjoy, which is now you're really part of this episode because you discovered something together with us while we were doing it. And I think that happens with other characters as well. And those moments from, especially in season 1, were very impactful to the entire season. So, and like you said, I think that's also drawing on the Otto and Cristobal relationship. You're getting the same situation. They're discovering something together
Mhm.
authentically, and so is the
Yeah.
audience.
And I
Yeah.
think that there is something so visceral about the way that you both described eating and also eating. Um,
Yeah.
it was really cool, and I absolutely felt like and this was the intention too, but like a fly on the wall. Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. I'm not supposed to be here, but
Uh-huh.
I am living for everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And then the minute like you turned on me, I was like, I was not in performer brain. I was not ready.
Oh no, I'm
And
sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no, it was good. It was good. It was
Good. Good.
truly startling, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think that that's
Oh yeah.
it's as it should be.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
same thing, right? That's an honest
mhm.
discovery in yourself. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just because of how much you have been talking about the wound, right?
Yeah.
About the wound and the nightmares that Otto is having.
Mhm.
Um, it felt right, especially when the audience chose you, right? Like once the audience chose you, we have a bunch of things that we could draw from any character, despite which one was
Yeah.
chosen. But this would just happen to be, again, that backstory, right? So this
Mhm.
gives us opportunity of choices for the audience to go, oh, I want to see what the guys have prepared for that character right now. And it in a real way, that's another way that the audience is interacting and leading where we go with the show. So I really love this aspect of it. This is new to me,
Mhm.
and it's like it's like the audience is playing with us as well, and that's what I really love.
Speaking of the audience
Yeah.
playing with us, Otto is in firmly in the Cult of the Skull camp.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
like as Surena, I didn't catch. I mean, I thought maybe that's powers like Watcher came from Skull,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
until the last episode. And so it's so funny that like I had been like subtly bonding in Otto's mind. In actuality, it's there's no bonding with chaos,
Yeah.
true
Yeah. There is
chaos.
no right. Right.
But Otto is like, yeah, this skull is pretty rad and also like benevolent perhaps and maybe can help us. And if it hurt us, maybe it's because we angered it. Like that's and they're not religious. Like it's so
Right.
interesting that like Saint and now Cristobal with his messed up situation, which I again, I love him, but I'm afraid he's going to turn heel on us. As gold masks are involved, I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like
Tend not to
ugh,
be good. Tend not to
tend
be
not
like
to
a
be.
positive situation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then those souls that he has in the mirror, it
Yeah.
it's
There's a lot of
upsetting.
questionable stuff going on there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, Shanonymous one
Oh my
dropping
gosh.
10 gift subs. Thank you, Shanonymous.
Thank you,
That's
Shanonymous.
incredible. We are humbled by that gift. Thank you, Shanonymous. Also, Shanonymous said, I feel like Otto is a little bit of a victim of circumstance. It's going to be really interesting to see how his character plays out. I thought he was brave to lead the party through the wilderness, actually,
Aw.
despite saying that you were being a coward. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Otto um part of being a rogue is being unseen.
Yeah.
So I think in the shadows, Otto is very brave because he wants to be brave so badly. He really wants to be the one that can save the day. but like, don't look at him. Like, do not perceive him.
Right. Don't look at me. It's
Don't
like,
look at me.
did you ever see, what is that movie called? It's Mystery Men. Have you ever seen the Mystery Men movie?
Yes.
Where one character, like, he can turn invisible, but only if no one looks at him.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's related to that. My brain makes that connection when we say something like "Don't look at me, I'm in the shadows." Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not just hiding from people; I'm hiding from attention. Yeah. Brilliant. So, Tuo also had a question. It's sort of related to what we've already talked about, but I think this still is a distinct enough question. What is going on in Otto's head when he witnessed the dinner scene? You know, we talked a little bit about what Surena was going on in Serena's head, being a fly on the wall, but what was going through Otto's head when this was going down?
So I think that so Otto was sitting there, and I think that he also has very photographic dreams, very visual dreams anyway. And they've been mostly of being at underground and in his community, and then sort of like so I've been on this Buffy kick lately. This is a side tangent.
Yeah.
And there's this episode where like they're all trapped into a dream with like, I think it was like the first Slayer or something, but there'd just be nightmare things that would pop up. So it would be like them doing stuff, and all of a sudden they would see like this demon or see this thing. And that's how I see like Otto's dreams are with the man in obsidian. And so to be sitting at this like dinner party, it wasn't completely unusual until the specifics started happening. And like eating of the Ramhidi meat, drinking of the Minotaur blood, and the poem that Jared read, like, or that Jared recited, that's when like all of the alarms started going off in Otto's brain. Like it was like, oh well, maybe I'm psychic, maybe this is a little window into the future. And that moment I was like, oh, this, I am actually at a place, this is real. How am I not being perceived? Be quiet, be safe. And so so coming out of it, that's why he was very terrified, because it's very confusing.
Yes, and I think you're right. It's very confusing, but it's also very like, oh, this a bit bigger than we thought.
This is big.
This is big. Okay, maybe we are. And there was something that Morgan said to me that I really liked. He was like, when he heard someone else who wasn't Olivar say the Stormborn, he went, it was the only way I can imagine. My visual brain goes, it's that long tunnel vision that happens, right, where you have a realize and the camera like speeds in or pulls away but zooms in, where things just sort of elongate for you. And the realization of like, oh, that could have just been that guy telling me I'm a thing,
right?
But now someone I don't know is saying this thing. Oh no.
The idea that like they were trying to resurrect their kind back. And like that is what a scary thought, right? Like and I am the type of player that's like, I don't know if they're all the way evil. Maybe like I'm certain that I do not want to see them revive themselves. Correct. I think it would just be bad for everyone. And
I would agree with you. As a DM, I would agree with you.
Yeah,
That's probably
cool.
given the scene that you were presented, I would agree with you. I would come to the same realization at the end of that scene. Yeah. Like, hey guys, that's not a thing we should let go down.
That's our new mission. Our new mission is to
stop that
up whatever that is. Yeah.
No, sir. And then let's talk about. I want to know your reaction at the end of the episode when literally a soul carriage descends upon the party?
So both Otto and Surena, we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
We knew if we stayed there, the last thing that they said, they were coming for us. So I was like, do we leave? Like truly, that's
Like
why I
right
was
now?
holding the
Like we should
skull
go?
to ask, because I was like, is this my problem anymore? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And so thank you, Watchers, for convincing Otto to stay. Um, but it, it is like Nightmare on Elm Street when you're having like Freddy chase you, and then all of a sudden he's like standing like in real life in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that level of just like horror and a soul carriage. Like, what does that even mean? Like,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. A soul
so
carriage, absolutely. I mean, literally being a steel carriage being driven by
yeah,
souls, the souls of animals and people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
horrifying. And like to
Horrifying.
be a druid of souls, basically.
Yeah.
He's like
Right.
a druid reaper. He's the
Yep.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I got
You
it.
got it.
Otto doesn't know, but Serena
Yeah,
outsmart.
Surena gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is. I'm so excited for Wednesday, guys. I just want to say I'm so excited for Wednesday, and I will tell you what I've been telling Morgan. It's okay to run. It is okay to run.
I just want, and this won't happen because every time, side note, dear friends in chat, we have a group text. And in this group text, it's a secret group text from Ron and Jared.
Of course, we had it when we with Jeff in season
Yeah.
1. Yeah.
And so we plan things, and 0% of the things that we've planned in the group chat have ever happened. So I will say I would love to slash the spokes and like have like release the souls and then run would be my goal. But it won't happen because nothing we ever plan happens. So
Well, we'll see. I'm excited to see. I have introduced Soul Carriage. Jared helped me. I mean, Jared and I were working on this together, but we've sort of flip flopped, and now I'm working on combats again. And so this combat is me, and it's I came up with an idea and I was like, ooh, that would be fun. And I started looking at the abilities and I was like, that will be fun. Ooh. Yeah, we're testing. I'm pushing you. I'm pushing you here. I'm testing the boundaries and limits of the things that you have, and I want to let you know you have things that will help you. So
okay,
do that. That's all I'm going to say. You've got things that will help you, and watchers. One of the things that Jared and I have to often plan for is you. You know, we got one of the things that we heard often, some of the feedback that especially Jared and I heard a lot, was things felt too easy for the group because they always had advantages, and there were so many cards that were like really powerfully blessing and stuff like that. There weren't enough that were detrimental and stuff like that. So we heard you. So let's go, because we've got we're getting into higher levels, right in a big boss battle. Those can turn the tide at any moment. So think about that. Really think about that. There are ways for you. The way that we set this up is so that you can have real impact on the way things go. In story, especially for the watchers. So guys, I'm so excited. Like, it's just all seems to be converging at the right moment, and I love it. I just cannot wait. So we'll see. And here's the thing. I think after this, if y'all come out on the other end,
we're gonna level up.
I'm not gonna put it out there in those terms, but I'm gonna say it will be a great reward for you, and then I'll leave it at that. So
cool.
So keep that in mind when you're fighting this. Live to see another day, or are we solving at least some of the problem, or are we making the problem worse, or are we doing a little bit of both, or the world possibilities are endless. Yeah. So okay, I think we have one more question. You actually answered that one. Any reason why you did not tell more details to your party members? Oh, have you rewatched that scene multiple times?
I have not yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Cool.
reviewed my notes, and
Yeah.
I'm going to before tomorrow rewatch it again.
Cool.
I was sent a little bit of some prose that was
Oh,
part of it, so
cool.
I'm analyzing that.
Cool.
And I have a letter that was given to me by Cristobal. So I have a
Yep.
lot of things to like sift through, and
Yeah.
I love it. I love puzzles. Just like as a player, it's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am just letting you know, in the nicest way possible, I am determined to make those NPCs' lives miserable.
Oh, good.
Like,
We
it's gonna
anticipated
be
that.
great.
If you did not, that would be what I did not expect. If you just were like,
Yeah.
oh, they're fine. Let's
They're
just go.
fine. No,
That would not.
I'll
that would-
figure it out.
Okay. All right, that's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. So yeah, I had every
Mhm.
belief that you would
Yeah.
try to be a thorn in the side of these people.
Mhm.
I was hoping so.
Yeah.
So we'll see exactly how much of a thorn in the side you can become. I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay, so you have not watched multiple scenes. We still have, we've still got like probably 15 minutes before technically we started. So anybody have questions out there that's watching? I know I can go over here and look at a little bit of the chat. You're talking about Ron and Jared, Surena. They are too chaotic to be figured out. We're not madmen. We just play them.
It's delightful, and it's keeps you on my toes.
Well, that's that's what Shanonymous said after they gifted. They were like, look, I'm honestly just amazed at how thoroughly you all think about how your characters play, and that's very cool. And that's really one of the things that we heard about Dungeon Run Season 1 that people really enjoyed, was that our characters were very much like we thought like our characters did when we were making decisions. We really were taking those things into account. And what some of that is, and what you're identifying, is you've got to filter what you know into what the character knows. And I had a mechanic with high wisdom but low intelligence that I found cool ways to play with to filter that knowledge through. And I think you are finding that too with Otto, especially with his high intelligence and his, as you mentioned it, cowardice, or struggling with the cowardice that he thinks he feels. I think that's already, I'm seeing the beauty of you filtering that information in under that lens. And again, that's why I'm at the table. That's why I'm at the table. That's what I want. That's what I'm giddy for every day and makes me work hard on this, is that kind of interaction. Because do it enough in high stakes situations and you get explosive drama that people just sink their teeth into. And that's what we're looking for. Let's see. Oh yeah. Dungeon Speedrun says, I wonder how that carriage feels about gravity.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. Thank you. And also, haha. But also Cristobal. Oh, so many emotions.
Yeah. Also, souls not really affected by gravity.
Oh no.
But a steel carriage, probably so. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out for them. Oh, Brianna, hello. Good to see you again.
Hi.
For Surena, great to have you here. Also enjoyed you on D20. How was it creating these two great characters around the same time? And do either inform the other? Ooh, lovely. Obviously, they're talking about your D20 Fae, the Fae 10 shot. Was it 10 episode?
Yeah, 10 episodes.
Just finished, right? Just finished?
Yes, we just finished. Sure. Yeah, I think they were created around the same time. So in the cadence of the shooting schedule, the D20 was filmed before I created Otto. And I think having characters with strong senses of community was something that was still really in my brain. And Binks, the character I play in the show, they really had a strong home that they were away from. And I think that Otto has that as well, just a strong sense of home and family, and having, Uncle Professor, Jab Jab, the like arbiter of knowledge for their society, being like the cornerstone of like Otto's beliefs. So like Otto doesn't believe in gods, they believe in people. And I think that is the way I played Binks kind of informed that choice, because I believe that gods are intangible, or so I thought before we were playing this, like really dove in.
Yeah.
But people, you can depend on people, and people you can trust, and we can together like work to create change.
I love that.
So yeah.
Yeah, that that's fits so well in the thematic the themes that we have going on in the show already. So yeah, awesome. Let's see. We've got, is he for sure trapped? The dungeon speed run. Is he for sure trapped?
Is he for sure trapped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he for sure trapped? I don't know. Is he? Is he for sure trapped though? Is he for sure trapped? I don't know. I really don't know. We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to find out. I also have learned that if I want Cristobal out of the battle, I just need to target him with wisdom saving throws. That's all I need to do.
Oh my gosh, poor guy.
And it's the most common one. Wisdom saving throws is the most, in all the spells and abilities. Wisdom is the most common.
Doesn't he have a high wisdom save too? Is it just?
He just can't. I don't. Is it just that he can't roll a wisdom save? Like.
I don't know. Like it just fate.
I mean, a wisdom stat usually is a dump stat when you're playing a wizard, but I don't know how he chose that. I don't know exactly what. I don't remember off the top of my head which way he went with that. But poor guy. Oh, Tapardo said, "Well, I did a lot of bad cards, so let's hope some of those don't come up this week." Yeah, I mean, again,
I'm so excited to see your cards, Tapardo.
Indeed. And all of you watchers out there, if you want, if it's easier for you to come up with D&D kind of in and out of combat scenarios and concepts, we have a way you can submit your cards for Jared to look through. Jared does all the card stuff. It's all Jared. I do all the minis. He does all the cards. That's how we break that up. And he's been doing a great job with all of that, especially with all the wonderful input that we get from the audience. So make sure that if you are good at those things, even if you're not, if you just want to try it, go to our Dungeon Run, thedungeonrun.tv, and you can submit your cards there for us to possibly have used in the program. So make sure you do that. Tapartos has done that. We've had quite a few here in the audience that have done that. So if you have any questions, I'm sure just reach out on our official unofficial Discord, and someone I'm sure will be helpful with you. Our community is known for their wonderful, wonderful help. So, all right, we're about another 10 minutes before we're done.
I see a question in the chat that I would love to answer from.
Sure.
Sir Galahad. Sorry, I have dyslexia, and my brain was like numbers, letters, hard.
Yeah.
Yes. So is Otto's desire to learn magic because he's a sorcerer and doesn't know yet?
Oh.
I love this question. What you talked about earlier on about like discovery. The Otto's original build or current build is an arcane trickster, which is the same build that or type of build that I used for my character in the D20 game. However, I didn't really get to use a lot of arcane trickster things. And so I was like, I am playing an arcane trickster, gosh darn it. I'm going to use all those things. But the types of magics are rare, like we were talking about in our character backstory development session. And I think the more that they learn with Cristobal, this gives me an opportunity, like naturally or organically, to perhaps consider multi-classing if that comes up. But to answer your question, I don't know, but that's in the back of my mind as a possibility, and it would just be something that we discovered as we go along.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Some of the, early on in Ugo's in season 1, Ugo's story arc, people were like, I wanted to multi-class, and people were like, is he going to go cleric or paladin, or what's he going to do? And was that for me? It was like the same thing, which is like, I want to discover that as we go forward. I
Yeah.
want that to be meaningful, and I want it to have weight in the story. And so I can totally relate with that, and I'm so glad you're doing that. And I'm open. And I can say fairly strongly with Jared, we are open to great ideas, and that sounds like a great idea to me. So, Shinonymous says, for Ron, do you find it harder to DM or to play? Both have their own unique issues. I've done both, and I know they're pretty unique, but different. Absolutely, they are different. They are different, but it's more of how permanent your viewpoint in the game is, right? Mm-hmm. So as a player, you just have a more permanent viewpoint in the game from one static position, whereas a DM, you're really just diversifying your viewpoints in the story, right? You're just, I got to see it from this character and from this character. When you're the hero of a story, how you view your story is very different when you are not the hero, right? Like when a villain looks at or an antagonist is probably a better way to put it. When an antagonist views the story, it's very different. And I'm constantly reminded that in villain stories, they are the hero, right? Mm-hmm. So I try to keep that as pure as possible when I'm DMing. Okay, this character's viewpoint is what are they angry about? What are their motivations? So it's different, and the issues are different, because you also have to pay attention to what all of your players are saying, so that can impact the viewpoints that you're also working on. So it's a lot of back and forth and a lot of plate spinning. Luckily, with us together doing it, things that I miss, Jared says and writes down, and sometimes things that he misses, I catch and write down, and that's been very helpful. And we have the video that we can go back and watch. So that helps a lot
which
too.
Is amazing.
With Adam doing the dungeon rush, that has also been very great, where it's like I can get a quick DM update of like, oh right, I can look at where I'm keeping my campaign notes, but also play this in the background and get an update. So I find, to answer your question, Shinonymous, they both have the unique issues. I like being a player because I get to really get dramatic, and I love dramatic scenes and comedies, but I like DMing as well, and probably why I've done it way more than I've played. One, weren't always the plethora of DMs that there are now. Used to be a very hard thing to find, and players would flock to them. So I've just been forever DM for a long time. And I think because of the different viewpoints I get to present and the different characters and different drama scenes I get to be in, that I prefer. I enjoy that. So, yeah. Shinano says, Adam is awesome. Loving him this season. Absolutely. A wonderful other addition. Carrie, I think, is doing really well.
Yes, Carrie. I love Carrie so much. I love her
so much. She's so great. And it's
so funny.
Yeah, funny, right? But playing the truth. I love that she's playing the truth of not knowing about the Feywild, because the Feywild is like that.
It's weird.
I love that. It's weird, and it gives her a sense of mystery that I really am enjoying as well, of like, well, what's going on with all of that? So there's a lot of that going on with every character, and I love it because it gives us so much to just discover and play in.
And it's like
go ahead.
She can't like contradict herself either, because it's like what she is telling us, she believes.
Yeah.
It's like she's not lying about anything. Right. It's just that it maybe isn't true because it's just off.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me, because it's like she is such an open-hearted, open book character, but the book is kind of written in backwards and has like notes in the margins, like
and spoken in third person, and
and it changes tenses sometimes. And it changes tenses
randomly. Yeah. Stream of consciousness on occasion. Yeah.
It's House of Leaves, like Carrie's.
Yeah. Yes.
So funny.
And she does a great job with that, I think. And I love her interactions with Drek and with
Slushy.
Slushy.
Yeah. Oh, I am always and forever surprised when Slushy talks. It's not gonna ever like it's
Yeah,
not gonna.
I love that because now with Slushy I can play that someone is paying attention when you don't think someone's paying attention, and so like
Mhm.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of situations already that has happened, and
Yes.
so that will I get to just throw a wrench in the mix randomly because someone was there to observe it. And you're like about that, yeah. So it's gonna be I love that gift of thank you watchers for Slushy. We appreciate that. Um, so it's a lot of fun to play with. All right, I think we're getting close to the end there. Surena, it was a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me on. It's
Yeah,
always delightful chatting with you and
yeah.
like diving into like all the wild stuff we have happening because
Oh yeah,
this is a it's a lot.
it
It's a
is.
lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it will continue to be a lot because we're trying to make a story that lasts a lot.
Yes.
So, and that is constantly giving you rewards
Mhm.
for puzzles and for figuring
Yeah,
things out
so
and leading you
good.
to the next one. It's really what we're trying to do. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We work really hard. It's a team effort. So it's not just Jared and I, it's all of you as well. And all of those behind the scenes. Morgan does so
Yeah,
much work behind the scenes.
a rock star,
A
truly.
rock star, a true rock star. Jessica does so much work behind the scenes. um, Jared and I do as well. But we want to thank you from the bottoms of our heart for really supporting us. To amass more information about Katie soon. I hear. I can't. That's Marvel will not let me say anything other than that, so I won't say any more than that. But we will be hearing about Katie soon, and so I look forward to that and what that information is. I have no idea what that information is, but I look forward to it. So, Shanonymous says, love you both and thank you very much. Love to hear the inside thoughts. Still pretty new to your channel. Keep up the great work. We love you. Well, Shanonymous, there is a backlog of videos for you to watch that I hope you will eventually get into as well. But I'm glad you're here and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And that goes for all of our watchers here in the chat and those who are watching afterwards because they are part of our Patreon crew. We appreciate all of your dollars and your donations, your time and your effort. This is a collective thing. We're all running this together, so thank you so much for your continued support. If you'd like to support us further, we have interactivity during the show, so make sure you check us out live Wednesday night, 6 p.m. here on twitch.tv/the Dungeon Run. And then also you can interact in our patreon.com/the Dungeon Run, where we have a bunch of new perks going out. And Morgan was telling me a little bit about this last weekend. I guess the first of the campaign episodes went down, and I want to talk a little bit about the Gold family. Gold family's been a long supporter, especially in the force of Cosmos and Nature tracks, and they are playing. They rotate who plays. They're
That's
rotating who plays because they have a
amazing.
daughter they have to take care of, and so they're using it in play. They're using that in play, and I love that. I
That's so cool.
love that. So the concept of dueling adventurers who one goes off to adventure while the other one watches the child at home and takes care of the babe. I love that. It's so family oriented and it's so wholesome and good natured. And I just had to say something about it. It was so, when he told me that, I was like, yay! So it gave me a lot of joy in my heart. And I don't know about y'all, but I need a little joy lately. So it was very nice. It was very nice. But yeah. Well, Sir Galahad says, Ron hand painted minis. Yes. Thank you. I do hand paint the minis. And I will continue to do so. I'm taking a little bit of a break the next couple of weeks because of all the things that are going down in my realm. But yeah, I will be back to painting minis and printing very soon. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Surena, again for being here. And as always, everyone, humankind, be
Be
both.
both.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Great night. Bye.